everyone. I'm so excited to invite all of you kindly find your seat right now. It's about a time to bring everyone to listen from our esteemed panelists who join with us for the panel discussion on securing the future, the role of education in cybersecurity. Now today when we talk about the cybersecurity workforce, it's hard to talk about these topics. We would like to engage all of you to listen from our esteemed experts in cybersecurity industry. It's about to commence shortly. Don't be hesitate to join with us here at the main stage. We have two sessions before we conclude the Cybersec Asia 2024 Coast Thailand International Cyber Week 2024 powered by NCSA. Live session will be proceed the panel discussion on securing the future, the role of education in cybersecurity shortly. Then we have the last session by Cisco with the topics of Barbarians at the Gateway, Game of Points, the emerging threats of AI in cybersecurity. And once again, I'm so happy to remind all of you, please kindly save the date and wishing to see everyone again in the next edition of Cybersec Asia. We'll meet up again during 28 to 29 January 2025 right here at Queen Sirikit National Convention Center, Bangkok, Thailand. Well, everyone, today will be the last chance to shape a safer digital world together. Let me bring everyone to listen to key insights from our cybersecurity expert who will join with us in the panel discussion securing the future, the role of education in cybersecurity. I'd like to encourage everyone, if you have any questions on your mind, feel free to drop your question by scanning the QR codes. Your question will be sent to our speaker and answered at the end of this session. By this occasion, I would like to welcome our esteemed panelists and our moderator, kindly join with us on the stage. First up, we are honored to have our esteemed moderator, the Vice President of Thailand Ecosystem Development, Thailand Business Angel Network. Please welcome Kun M. Amarit Chalermpanan. Next up, we are honored to have CISO Regional SVP Business Development, Athena Dynamic. Please welcome Nguyen Tun Thaw. Cybersecurity Community Leader, Thai Cybersec. Please welcome Kun Sarah Hansakun. Thailand Ambassador Grace. Please welcome Paul Craig.
And one more, the one and only.
Oh, we have CEO Superchart Lab Inc. Please welcome Ann Chern. And we would like to hand over this stage to Kun Aim.
All right. It's the last panel of the day, I think. Shouting out to everybody in the booths. Come on over. All about education and cybersecurity. We're going to bust some myths. We're going to talk about some very interesting insights and trends from key practitioners in the industry. Now, I'd love to ask the panelists to do a quick introduction and, at the end of it, tell me one BS, one myth in the topic of education and cybersecurity that you just want to burst that bubble that you disagree with or That's interesting. So, putting everybody on the spot, I will put the guy who's most stoic, Paul.
Okay, thank you, everybody. My name's Paul Craig. I represent Crest here in Thailand. What I'd just like to say, actually, a giant myth about cybersecurity, you do not need an education degree to work in cybersecurity. Anyone can work in cybersecurity. You just need a really curious mind.
All right, word. Love that. Okay. And Sarah, up next. Please, quick intros. Yeah. And one myth.
Okay, I'm Sarah, represent for the Thai SciSec, for the cybersecurity community in Thailand. You would know me for the Facebook page, right? For my topic, maybe it's just like when people would like to change field, would like to convert that job from other field to cybersecurity, how would they? And what kind of barrier they have to face, they have to struggle. Maybe this degree, but you did not agree with that.
All right. We've got some debates going on. This is a real panel where people disagree. I love it. All right, go ahead. So,
Yeah, I'm Zor. I'm from a Singapore-based cybersecurity company called Athena Dynamics. So, myth, yeah, I just want to say cybersecurity is not just for guys in hoodies walking behind a green screen. It's for everybody. It's for, anybody can be in the cyber, can be guys, ladies, young and old, everybody. Because as long as you have an interest in it, there are ways for you to enter the cyber field. So that's what I want to say.
thank you. Last but not least, Anne.
Hey everyone, I'm Anne, and hello to all the Singaporeans in this room. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in bloody Singapore. Hello la. Hi, I'm Anne from Supercharged Lab, and the biggest myth is that you can't win, but you can. You just need to start thinking.
All right. I got to dig into that, how to win. Now, talking about the state of play, I just came back literally half an hour ago from a meeting with Air Vice Marshal Amorn from the NCSA and our Indian delegation, and we had an interesting chat. He said that in Thailand, there's only 500 graduates produced annually in cybersecurity. Not that degrees matter, up for debate. And he would love to see 1,000. He would love to double that to be on par with the likes of Vietnam. But is that really enough just to produce more warm bodies and serve the industry? Thoughts?
So I definitely don't think it is. I don't think it's enough. I think it's a real mind shift change we need in Thailand regarding cybersecurity. And this really starts at the grassroots. It starts with individuals thinking that cybersecurity is important, protecting their own personal data, the proliferation of scams and fraud and things like that. That all falls into cybersecurity. Then on top of that, we need the resources. We need people. And don't forget, once people are trained and they know all about cybersecurity, a lot of those graduates may leave Thailand and go somewhere else. We need even more people. And every new bank or company that starts in Thailand, they will take 15, 20, 30 of these people. So we endlessly need more resources. There's not enough.
Is it negative employment right now in the industry? That's what I've heard. Like you don't have enough people forever?
Yeah. It's constantly just not enough people. Anyone wants to join cybersecurity, we want you.
I did hear a funny, maybe somebody could chime in. Some of the attendees said, oh, this is almost like, as well as a trade show, it's also a recruiting event. It seems every company is recruiting them while visiting the booths. What's been your experience so far at Cybersec?
Okay, let me talk about that. I heard that many ones have been graduate, have taken the many certification in cybersecurity field, but for the main problem and the pain point of each company is like there's many applicants, but the applicant that have the qualify is just the field, right? I know about this.
I think, there is this dissonance, right? So a lot of people are saying, oh, I want to recruit. But we want everybody we recruit to have a specific amount of certification, qualifications. And here we are on this panel saying, you don't need it. The honest truth is, you don't need it. So I think that it needs to be a mind shift between the corporates and the people on the ground who actually are interested. If we force compliance to a whole bunch of certification, you're never going to get over that bump of warm bodies and seats. But on the other hand, how can we, from a grassroots level, educate people that social engineering is a threat? How can we as individuals not pick up the phone when somebody says we've kidnapped your father, mother, grandfather, uncle, aunt, or so on and so forth? How do we realize that somebody who says, I'm going to give you $900 million and I'm from Nigeria is really a scam? How do we actually educate people? So I think it's not about this whole certification thing, but really educating both the grassroots and the corporate that's talking to you guys out there, that we don't really need that much of certification. It really means that we have programs to enable an entire organization to learn about security as a mindset, risk management as a mindset.
Yeah, on this, one thing I want to add on is because it's true that a lot of organizations, including universities and governments, have been trying to churn out a lot of cyber graduates by having a general kind of training. And because I have been working in Singapore, these days all the applicants that we get have some kind of cybersecurity background. Like all of them say, okay, I know ethical hacking. Probably they know how to use Metasploit and such. But the challenge that we face is all of them are very general, that for some of the specific roles that we want to hire, we can't really find somebody that's really suitable. And out of the 10 resumes that we receive, all 10 has the same background. so that makes it hard for us to actually choose, like let's say, because the entry level, a lot of them try to touch on the different topics and then maybe try to train to be an SOC analyst, because that's usually the lowest entry level kind of job. But there are also a lot of other roles that are really in need of people, and we are not really getting enough of that. So I'm hoping that maybe all these training programs have certain electives or like maybe concentration kind of path where they can train people to be in certain areas, like it could be red teaming, blue teaming, or whatever. So.
Well, I think there's this other thing. We don't want to fit people into boxes. We want to fit attitudes into the right frame of mind, right? The right attitude towards security. I have, funny story, National Computer Systems in Singapore, right? NCS. They actually fish their own employees to see if their employees get social engineering, like fib a email from their bosses saying transfer money here or there, stuff like that. 70% of them still fail. There you go. They're all qualified.
Interesting. I think you're digging into a point where it seems that everything is very nebulous. To break into cybersecurity, it's you only stuff see in Hollywood, bunch of hackers, like create crazy screens, and then you just come to this show and it's just another day at work, people selling stuff. So how do we make the barrier to entry for the industry lower? How do we get more people interested to become a professional in cyber?
I think firstly we need to expand the resource pool. It's the really easy sort of equation. Let's say if like 1% of the available people that are looking at a job choose cybersecurity. If we increase the pool of 1%ers, let's say in Thailand, let's say you're 18, 19 and you have a car accident and you're paralyzed and you can no longer walk. Does this impact your ability to do a cybersecurity job? No, it doesn't. If you're sitting in a wheelchair, it's the same as a guy sitting in a chair. But right now in Thailand, if you had this accident and were not able-bodied, I don't think that would be a career choice. So if we can expand that resource pool, and then even if you just get 1% of a much larger resource pool, hey, we got more people.
I agree with Paul, because
Thank you.
right now, okay, thank you so much. Okay, because right now it's a trend over the world, especially in America about the DEI, right? To welcome all diversity, not just women, not just disability, it's anything that normally people would not hire the people, something like that, because some maybe it's from external apparent. Uh, but right now we have many community, right? The women in tech, code without barrier, and many things, especially in technology field, to welcome many varieties. I think the future would be better and keep better,
It's
especially
actually
in
funny you
Thailand.
say that because in Thailand, they actually have programs where they incentivize employers to hire people with disabilities. And in fact, you have to pay a fine if you don't hire people with disabilities. 95% of people actually pay the fine instead of hiring. I kid you not. Fun fact.
It's just like a risk management, right?
Yeah.
Shameless plug for Steps. If you want to know anything, ask Max Simpson from Steps. She will tell you a lot about this program in Thailand.
Yeah. Well, Paul, you'd actually have a
Yeah, so
reverse problem.
I just had one thing to add to that. That CREST, the organization that I represent here, is actually made up of over 40% people who identify as neurodiverse. So neurodivergence is actually a really big thing in cybersecurity, and something that other organizations have actually tried to embrace. Yes.
Yeah, and neurodiverse is people with learning disability.
Yeah, maybe dyslexia, maybe they think a bit differently, OCD, ADHD, autism. But these people tend to solve problems in a way other people can't solve problems, which means they get a better cybersecurity result.
Nice, interesting. But also, you had the other problem, which is women in cyber. How is that going? Do you have a lot of people?
You're asking a dude that?
I mean, that's not
So-
to judge him.
So I think it is actually growing, women in cyber.
Okay, nice.
It's definitely growing. So in Singapore, I actually have a pen test team in Singapore, and almost half my team are women. Female hackers, which is awesome. I mean, they hack just as well as the guys do. It's exactly the same. In Thailand, unfortunately, I don't see that same representation, but I just think it's a matter of time if enough people go through the process, right?
Yeah, actually on this, I think the most important thing is to reduce the barrier of entry to the cyber field because the reason why there are so many female cybersecurity engineers in Singapore is because there are a lot of programs that encourage people to feel included. Things like, Women in Cyber, they have regular meetups, and all the other organizations have some form of activities to make sure that it's all inclusive. And like you have certain role models that are probably female that makes people want to inspired and want to be in the field. So I think it's very important that people shouldn't see cyber as something scary, some difficult stuff that only the very smartest people in the world can do. So it's not like that, right? So this is the myth that we actually need to bust in order to get more people to join the cyber industry.
Right. Now, speaking of myths and hacks, pun intended, how can we, if there's folks in the audience that really want to break in, like what is hot right now? These are things you need to be looking at. This is too old school. Like, go take this course. Any tips or advice?
I think the first thing I would say to anybody is start from yourself, right? Question everything. You get random phone calls, random emails, Facebook hacking, people texting you saying, hey, I'm going to send you a code, send it to me. Even if it's your mom or somebody who is, probably sounds like she or he doesn't know tech, that's social engineering, right? So the first thing to do, I would say, is it starts with us. Question everything. And then educate yourself. And I think from a grassroots level, if I had my way, I would make it go viral on TikTok on how we scam the scammer. Because if you watch in the US, there's this whole movement of people like, I did this to this guy who scammed me, and it goes viral. So when you do that, it catches on, it's cool, it's fun, you get more communities into it, whether it's young people, whether it's, elderly. I work with the National Science Foundation in the US, the National Data Science Corps in the US, and a lot of these are with diversity inclusion programs that really embrace, youth, disadvantaged youth, to help educate the elderly about risks in cybersecurity. So I think it starts with us.
Nice.
I understand and point in terms of the workforce, if everyone has been educated about the awareness, so we need less workforce in the cybersecurity field to manage with this, especially for the phishing and any awareness problem, right?
To be honest, I think we'll need more because we need people to educate. We need people to come from a point of this is what I know from the education that I've learned. But it starts with a community. Remember I said we can beat this. I didn't say I can beat this. I think it's a community, it's a collective that can beat, the threat of cybersecurity.
Well, all right. Anything to add, folks?
Yeah, so actually, in terms of the hardest places or the initiatives that we have seen so far, is like, for example, in Singapore, we actually collaborate with the Ministry of Defense to hold this annual competition. So it's like a hacking competition that's open to all the students. Thousands of students join every year, and what we do is we have different levels, like there's the beginner, there's advanced, and we encourage everybody, even if they have zero knowledge in cyber, to enter. They learn from this training. And then we have the finale, which is the hacking competition, where everybody comes together, try to hack into something, and then the winner gets the prize, of course. But this is usually one of the starting points for a lot of younger generations, because they get to actually try what it's like to hack something. And that actually inspires them to, like, okay, this is interesting. Maybe I should start
Can I
to
throw a
learn more.
curveball? I wouldn't use the word hack because the minute you use the word hack, a lot of young people get deterred because they say, I'm not a hacker. I don't know what hacking means.
Ethical hacking, yeah.
But like a word that hackathon, hack your life, is not kind of cybersecurity.
I'm just throwing a spanner in the works.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
but my point was basically more of like gamification of the experience, that people actually think like, we actually even have initiatives where we are trying to make this into something like an esports, where people compete to, actually,
Cool.
yeah, hack
And
into space.
especially right now in Thailand, NCSA has held
Yeah.
many events like this, especially for women, right? Last
Yeah,
time,
absolutely.
the women CTF,
Yeah.
something like this.
Cool. So 2 minutes ago, we had a lot of folks that are attending are actually running boot camps and training programs. What are your thoughts on that? Like quickly, like are they doing it right? Could they do better? Because you're the one employing a lot of these people. What's the
Yes,
work?
I totally think any boot camp, any training camp that's teaching security, or specifically AppSec, the biggest gap we have in cybersecurity now is within the applications that we're using and developing, that all of our lives are built on top of. Very few people really understand this. So anyone that's teaching new people how to do AppSec, really important.
Right. That's kind of your wish list. Anybody else?
Yeah, another thing is probably on the OT side. OT cybersecurity is also an area where there's a severe lack of talents. So inside these boot camps, you can even have, real PLCs that people can play around with. Most of the people in the industry probably hasn't even seen a PLC in real life, right? So not to say try to do a pen test into it. So these kind of boot camps will be a place that, you can actually get a hands-on and, try out. So I think it's very useful.
Great.
Okay, for me, for last year, I have seen many companies just make their event about their boot camp that many people can get trained and get employed. Yes, so I think that kind of event, that kind of boot camp would have the higher success rate to make the higher workforce in cybersecurity field because it meets company requirements.
Awesome.
My parting statement will be governments should get their shit together and actually clearly define the standards. How many people here are with me? So I will say, get your shit together, clearly define standards. What's security? What's PDPA? Define what is privacy.
That's a great point. What is security?
Exactly. So
They
I
don't even
think
tell you.
the unfortunate thing is governments still haven't gotten their shit together. The IEEE is starting a new standard called the TIP standard: trust, integrity, privacy, security, safety. I don't know what's the other P, but standards are important.
Wow. Awesome. So I think that in CSA somewhere around there. So I will go over
It
and
would hurt us.
send their
Hurt us
message.
all.